Heard you guys were having a party.
What's up?
Hey.
Shall we?
War is coming to Middle-earth.
You're green. Is anyone there?
Yes, hello?
Hold together, and when it charges, break for the wall.
I thought you was still at,
Arkham.
I am the one keeping the storm at bay.
I'm giving you a chance, sweetie.
Galadriel.
Sisterhood above all.
What happens next?
Greetings and welcome to House of R, a Ringerverse podcast on the Ringer Podcast Network. I'm Mallory Rubin, and it is my absolute pleasure to invite you not only to Middle-earth, to the Witch's Road, to Gotham, to wherever else we might be journeying today, and also, of course, back into the House of R. Joining me today, telling us she knows we believe the ring is deceiving her, but she believes it is guiding her. I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It's Joanna Robinson.
What could possibly go wrong with a powerful ring? Nothing. I think it will only fill us with purpose.
Yeah?
Is Galadriel here? Oh my God, we're so close to Rings of Power. It's so exciting. We've started getting so many emails from people with their Rings of Power hype. It's very real.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Joanna,
Mallory?
you said hype. You said hype. And it's fitting that you did, because we are here for a cherished seasonal tradition, the House of R Hype Meter. Before we refresh everybody on the rules and on, speaking of proud traditions, how we have decided to define a season.
Listen.
Some quick programming reminders.
Yeah.
Over on the Ringerverse, you can hear the return of the Midnight Boys. Pew, pew.
Pew, pew.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, August 21st. They will be having a State of the Summer franchises chat. By the time you're listening to this, you will already be able to find the latest Mint Edition in your Ringerverse feed on Alien Romulus and Watchmen Chapter 1. For us, here in the House of R, it's a one-pod week. And in case you hear us, notice us weaving in and out of time a bit on the pod today, we are banking this a few days early because we're both going on vacation next week. We're going dark next week. So we're banking the hype meter before we head out of town. Letting you know that, because if there's like a new trailer that came out, or a new date for a show or something, and that's not accounted for in the hype meter, that's why. Also, this will be the only pod of the week, and then we will be back with you next week, twice, as usual, for the Rings of Power Season 2 primer at the top of the week, thrilling, and the Rings of Power Season 2 premiere deep dive at the end of the week, thrilling.
That's 3 episodes of Rings of Power are dropping at once next week. So
Wild.
Lock in, folks.
Joanna.
Yes.
How can everybody follow along?
Oh gosh, I'm thrilled to the bone that you asked me this. Listen, why don't you just subscribe to the pod, both Ringerverse and House of R, while you're at it. Sounds like a good plan to me. And a few other Ringer pods while you're at it. There's a lot going on. That's great stuff for you to listen to.
Yes.
Follow us on social, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook, and make sure that all of Jomi's hard work is not for naught, and that you enjoy all the added content that he puts up there for you, for your enjoyment. The email's open, stays open. It was flooded with dragon emails last week, and now we're starting to get hobbit emails. It's hobbitsanddragons@gmail.com. It's how you can get in touch with us. We got an email from someone just yesterday, I think, telling us that she was like, could not bear to be separated from us. So sweet. She had never watched any Lord of the Rings or read any Lord of the Rings, anything. And she watched the Peter Jackson trilogy, and she's like, this is my new favorite story. This is the best thing I've ever seen. I love it so much. Sam, Aragorn, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, the best time. And I was just like, genuinely could not be more thrilled. So welcome to Middle Earth.
This is the stuff.
This is the stuff.
It is a power.
I'm so excited. So yeah.
Delightful. There you go.
Tolkien
You
time.
still have a few days. If you're hearing this and you're inspired, You can watch season 1 Rings of Power. You can watch all of the films, perhaps read the text, or do none of that and just join us. Watch Rings of Power season 1.
Mallory's deep in a rewatch and is sending me tattoo ideas. So that's how you know we're backing it.
It's true. Okay. You can also watch full episodes of The House of R and Midnight Boys on YouTube. So check out the Ringiverse YouTube channel. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet. You can also watch those episodes on Spotify. Delightful stuff. What a time. Great. Thrilling. Delightful. Exciting. Also, the last programming reminder, it's usually the Friendly Neighborhood spoiler warning. Tough one for a hype meter always, because we don't know what's going to happen in the new stuff that's yet to come out that we're going to talk about. So obviously no future plot points will come up. We're just going to talk about like things we see in trailers, casting news, like that stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing beyond
in it?
that. Yeah.
What is it vaguely about?
Exactly. Will some stuff from prior installments or the larger like IP world that we're talking about come into play? I mean, yeah.
Maybe.
Yes. Here and there.
Yes, for certain. For certain.
Yes. I would say definitely. Okay, you've been warned. Great. I love a hype meter. Joanna, you've told us, you mentioned this to me, you mentioned it to John, you mentioned it to Arjuna, you mentioned it to Steve, that you would formally like us to start calling you the sharer of gifts. So I guess we should share a gift now. We should share the fall hype meter rules before we dive into the pod.
Joanna, no, I would prefer you call me Joanna, who was Halbrand and is also Sauron. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. We'll amend that moving forward.
Thank you.
It's definitely going to help the runtime of the pods.
Not a problem.
Okay. Anyone who's listened to a hype meter before will be very familiar with the setup because we're sticking with it. Here's how it goes. Process. We will be counting down from 10 to 1, and our lists are surprises. I don't know what is on Joanna's fall hype meter, and Joanna does not know what is on my fall hype meter. So if we have picked the same title at any point, which surely will happen, we will discuss it at the higher of the two spots. I am going to predict that we have the same top 3. I am not sure if we have it in the same order. We'll find out.
Wait,
I don't know how much overlap we'll have beyond that.
I don't know. I think we definitely have, I think 2 of those 3 for certain. Okay. And I'm not sure.
Interesting.
About one of those 3.
What's your prediction for overlap overall?
Oh, 80%. I didn't go too wild this time. I'm following your meatball down the middle.
Yeah, fastballs down the middle. Yeah. Eligibility.
Like a few, like 1 or 2 that maybe you don't have, but other than that, I think we're just.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited. Eligibility. These are, as always, genre picks. If we could. If we will, certainly, or could potentially. If there is a world in which we could potentially, will this come up for one selection today? We'll find out.
Yes.
Could potentially cover a given property on House of R, on Ringiverse. It can be selected in the hype meter time frame. Okay. We have yet in any hype meter to actually follow the literal season. Starts on this date and ends on this date. We're not
rebels.
Today.
We're storytellers. We weave our own universes in our world.
Right. Exactly right. So in our world, fall 2024 will begin today, August 20th. It will run through the end of November. We're basically shifting fall up a month. And we're doing this for 2 reasons. We want to be able to include some stuff that comes out at the end of August. And there's actually a lot of stuff coming in December. So, we got to think ahead. Winter hype meter. I mean, the winter hype meter is going to be a doozy. So if you came to this pod today and you were excited to hear Craven selected at number 1, great news. You will get to hear that. It's just going to come in the winter hype meter in a few months.
And remind the kids when Craven appeared on the hype meter before.
I did select Craven in a hype meter, and I want to say that was last winter, previous calendar year, though
the hype continues. The hype is sustained. I just need you to know that anytime someone mentions Craven in a Slack, in a text, whatever, Mallory's like, most anticipated movie of the year. The bit is like ongoing.
Genuinely can't wait to watch this movie. I'm
so excited to podcast about it with you from the crevice that is like one of the ridges on Aaron Taylor Johnson's torso.
Right in an ab nook.
Right in an ab nook.
I'll see you there.
Greasy ab nook. All right.
Releases that conclude in the date range we just shared are not eligible.
No.
This is releases that begin in that time period. Okay. Finally, wild card and honorable mentions. As always, 9 out of the 10 picks must be currently confirmed. Now, we cannot be held accountable for a release moving. Again, Craven the Hunter has moved so many times that it previously appeared on a 2023 hype meter. 9 out of the 10, they must have a release date in our range. Currently, 1 can be a wild card pick, which means reasonably assumed to come out in our time range. If you can make the case that it might come out, you can pick it. But you do not have to devote one of your spots to a wild card pick. You do not have to. It's elective.
Where are you on your Stranger Things is coming out in 2024 stance that you took earlier this year?
I've moved on.
Okay.
I mean, I had to try it in the hype draft.
I respect it.
I think I would have regretted forever if I hadn't at least attempted it.
Yeah.
But I moved on pretty quickly after that. After being denied. Finally, honorable mentions. If we had some extra contenders that we were bummed to leave off the list, or just some things that we want to mention, we'll run through them lightning round, rapid fire style at the very end. If anyone who is on this video call with us is absolutely appalled by something we left off, guys, you can jump in at the end. We'll see. A lot of stuff to be excited about. Okay, should we just dive in? Should we dive into the top 10? Is it time?
Let's do it.
Joanna, kick things off. What's your number 10?
Okay. I always on these try to put a book installment in. And so we're going to start at the bottom here, number 10, with a book installment, because my book selections this time around are like a little on the weak side, actually. One is, this is a hype meter, but it's also like, it's like a hope meter. Same, like we hope all of these things are as good as they have the potential to be. So I only have one smuggle and then like one actual. The smuggle is, I probably won't even read it. I just need to say it because I've gotten so many emails about it. Brando Sando himself is putting out the 5th installment in the Stormlight Archives, Knights of Wind and Truth. It is December 6th, just outside of our date range. So there are many ways in which it doesn't qualify. A, I probably won't read it. B, it doesn't come like inside the date range. I just didn't want to get anyone saying, why didn't you mention Stormlight? So Stormlight has been mentioned.
Okay.
Brando Sando heads, I hope you're thrilled and excited to get another Stormlight installment. I will be selecting, however, and again, this is like hope meter fodder. September 10th.
This is my number 10.
TJ Klune, who wrote
Somewhere Beyond the Sea. Yeah. We have the same number 10.
I have a copy of it I have an advanced copy of it right here. I haven't read it yet. But I think you liked Cerulean Sea a bit more than I did. You loved it. I liked it. So since it's our number 10, we can both talk about it here. You loved it. I liked it. I am like, but there's just like such good foundation there that in like the hope meter fashion, I'm like hopeful that this takes it to like another level entirely, and I just have a great time with it. But if it doesn't even like ratchet it up, I had a fun time reading the first book, so I think I'm gonna definitely enjoy Somewhere Beyond the Sea. So yeah,
delightful. Look at us. This was wow. I mean, if we both have this at 10, we might have more overlap than I was anticipating. Goodness.
Yes.
And I like that you're saying hope meter, because that's it didn't say that in the rules refresher, but we should just offer a quick reminder. The hype meter is not about like predicting, and this has nothing to do necessarily with Somewhere Beyond the Sea, but just in general, this isn't about like predicting ultimately how successful any of these releases will be. It's just like anticipation. What are we looking forward to? What are we excited to share with each other, with all of you, etc. So I also have Somewhere Beyond the Sea at number 10. I really, really, really loved the 2020s, the House of Cerulean Sea. I did not enjoy the next Klune book I read quite as much, Under the Whispering Door, but I really loved the first Cerulean Sea book. And I just, first of all, I read it as part of my Cuse book club, now known as Pulp Book Club, as previously discussed on a prior pod. Pals United in Literary Pleasure, and
so
also
good.
the Paper Pulp and Orange Pulp go Cuse. Okay.
Do you guys have merch yet?
One of our pals, Suzanne, made everybody custom bookmarks with the pulp.
I feel like you should start buying like merch from the band Pulp and just repurpose it as your own merch. You know what I mean?
Let's do it. This is like when I wore a Pamplemousse t-shirt in front of you the first time, and you're like, is that for the band? And I was like, this is a LaCroix shirt.
LaCroix.
You can always make it work. But not only am I looking forward to reading this next installment in what is now called the Cerulean Chronicles. So
Wow.
my assumption is that we will continue to get
Strap in.
installments with my beloved college buddies, with our book club. I really was just so fond of the characters in the first book. And so the idea of like, and it seems like this is going to be I won't share like particulars from the story for anyone who hasn't read it, but it seems like this second installment is going to be very Arthur centric. And I really loved Arthur. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I have said before, I'll just say again, Theodore was to me one of the best characters who had ever made his way into my life. When he came out of his little couch den and rested his chin on that waiting leg, my heart just melted. So I'm just excited to be back with the gang, you know, found family.
It's
magic
very
and love.
It's very Charles Xavier's School for Gifted Children sort of coded story with like a very cozy, lovely story of found family. So yeah.
Lovely is a great word for it. Lovely.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Okay.
Number 10.
What's your number 9?
I have peppered this list with the remaining witch properties of the year. And number 9, coming out November 22nd, is the musical Wicked Part 1.
Okay. I do not have this on my list. Take it away.
An adaptation of a stage musical that is an adaptation of a Gregory Maguire book. Like, how long have I been with this story of like, I bought that book like a gajillion years ago.
I actually saw this in London during my semester abroad, which was like
a gajillion years ago.
100 years ago, because I am ancient. Yeah.
Exactly.
It was great.
This is a little low on my list just because I don't know. There's some aspects of this movie. It's directed by John Chu, who I thought didn't do like the best job within the Heights and stuff like that. So like I'm a little worried about like the look of it, stuff like that. But I am really excited for Cynthia Erivo, who is incredible, who's going to be playing Elphaba. Jeff Goldblum is going to do his thing. Michelle Yeoh is here. Johnny Bailey. I love Johnny Bailey so much, and I'm really excited that he's playing Fiero. Dinklage is going to be here. Bowen Yang is going to be here. Like it's going to be a good time. Ariana Grande, yes, is also here. And so, but she was good in the trailer. I was very skeptical. She's good in the trailer. So I still have some reservations about like how synthetic it looks, just like very CG painted, but I'm hopeful, and I still think it was a mistake to divide it into 2 musicals. I still think that's like a little bit of an overreach, but that's going to be more of an issue for part 2 than it is for part 1, because most of the good songs are going to be in part 1. So musicals, witch stuff, Wicked. I am ready for you. November 22nd.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Not only not your last witch stuff go, not your last musical.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Listen,
Fall
2024 is Joanna's season.
It really is. I can only be
Making
myself.
my list, I was like, what a time to be Joanna Robinson.
I know.
Boy.
Thrilled for me, honestly.
I'm thrilled for you too, truly.
Thanks. Thank you.
I don't know if my number 9 made your top 10, though I know it's something you're looking forward to. Silo season 2.
It's my number 8.
Look at this.
I know.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Delightful. So
why don't you just go for it?
We should just talk about it then.
Yeah.
Because it would be your next one anyway. Okay, so this is coming November 15th, Apple TV Plus, another 10 episodes. And this is adapting the second half, in essence, of the first book in Hugh Howey's Wool series. Showrunner Graham Yost of Justified fame. This was part of why we were looking forward to season 1 so much. And
Rebecca Ferguson, anything.
My wife, Rebecca Ferguson, and my husband, Ian Glenn. Wow. We kind of caught up with season 1 toward the end and then did a pod on it. And I had been like wanting to read Wool for so long. I'd had it on my bookshelf for years.
Yeah.
And, read like the first however many pages before our pod. But then as soon as we finished the pod and finished the season, finally sat down and read the book and just really, really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to be back in the world. I quite enjoyed the first season. I liked that not only the way that the world of the Silo series was brought to life, but that kind of like genre mashup inside of the larger dystopian sci-fi universe. Detective story, mystery unfolding, a thriller. So excited to see what that kind of blend and flavor is in season 2 of this very like specifically rendered universe. And Steve Zahn joining the cast in season 2 is a thrill.
The best news we've ever heard.
I just
delighted.
can't wait for this.
I love Steve Zahn. So this is sort of similar to Cerulean Sea for me in that this was like a BB plus for me. We did binge it quite hastily in order to cover it. It wasn't our ideal way to cover it at all.
Correct.
There was a lot going on, like during its initial run, that we couldn't cover it week to week. This is something that we'll probably, I think, judging by the schedule, have and the fact that we're putting out, like 2 episodes a week now, stuff like that, like have space to cover this week to week. No promises, but definitely possible. Certainly not hastily.
Certainly more than once.
Yeah, certainly not hastily binging it at the last minute the way that we did last time. I think this world is incredible. I love the world of the silo. A lot of great performances. Rebecca Ferguson, as we mentioned. Tim Robbins with the mask off now is going to be like, fun to watch. Yeah. Dame Harriet Walter doing like extremely baffling accent work that like
frankly astonishing.
Just endears me more to this project. Are they going to make Steve Zahn do an accent? Who's to say? I can't wait to find out. So this is once again on like the sort of like hope meter. I am hoping they take the foundation of season 1, which is quite good, and build on it to something even better and stronger. And I am excited. I haven't read beyond that sort of like first chunk of the first book that we read to talk about it on the pod. And so I'm excited. I do want to like read the book before we get into it. I know that they're deviating from the book.
The second you come across the character Steve Zahn is playing, you're going to be like, the excitement you already feel for him entering the story
is just gonna explode. Okay,
skyrocket.
Yeah. I know that they're like deviating from the book a lot, and I think the ideas are gonna do like flashbacks as part of it to get some of the like origin of the Silo story in there or whatever. Anyway, I'm number 8, Silo, season 2, November 15th.
Okay, my number 8 is something that I have no doubt you have higher. Joker.
I have it higher.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, of course. Let's put a pin in that for now. And then I look forward to you singing your explanation to me for wherever you selected it. So that takes us to your number 7 then?
Yeah. Genuinely. How are there 2 musicals on this list? Kind of 3 musicals on this list. I'm just so thrilled. Okay, number 7.
Not Joe Fall.
Not a musical. That we know of. You mentioned Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
Penguin?
I have this higher.
Back to you, Mallory Rubin.
Back to you.
I have seen episode 1 of Penguin, so that's informing my placement of it. Okay, back to you.
Okay, I can't wait to find out if this is higher on your list or not on your list. I'm going to guess not on your list. My number 7 is part of one of the most important franchises of our recent shared experience. It is the 3rd and final film in this beloved property. Really?
Yeah, I do. I watched the trailer and I just got really excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard for me to put it this low.
Yeah.
Venom: The Last Dance, of course, is what we are alluding to. Okay, so we will circle back to Joker. We will circle back to Penguin, and we will circle back to Venom. This is how I spot in the hype meter where we're like, Arjuna, Steve, make sure we don't forget to actually talk about these.
Yeah.
That takes us to
my number
6.
Right back to the old Zaslav.com. It's Dune Prophecy, November 2024.
Wow.
You're surprised it's so low?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why when we get to it.
I have this way higher.
Yeah. You have it in your top 3?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I think I know what your top 2 are. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, what's your number 6?
Okay. My number 6 will be releasing on the big screen in the cinema on November 22nd.
I have it higher.
Wow, so you're leaning into the bit with me.
We have to cover this.
We have
it's
to.
So
it just has to be
core.
done.
We have to cover it.
Okay, great. All right, that's Gladiator 2 is my
Yeah.
number 6.
We'll
Joe
get to
has it higher. How many minutes of the pod in a row can we go without actually talking
Don't worry.
about a property?
It's over. It's time. My number
Okay.
5,
Yeah.
Venom: The Last Dance. October 25th. This comes out. I don't know what to say. I had seen this trailer already because I had definitely seen Venom Horse. But I
Yeah.
sort of just like hadn't been like constantly thinking about it. And then I was like, well,
Processing the genius that awaits.
I was like, I didn't, in my initial rough draft of this list, I didn't have it. And I was like, Mallory will hit it. I don't need to hit it.
Mhm.
Like, it's going to be fine. And then I rewatched the trailer. I was like, you know what? This just looks like a really fun time at this. This looks like an absolute shit show, and I'm kind of here for it. I think it's going to be really fun. Juno Temple, I'm just like such a massive fan of after Fargo, Ted Lasso, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm excited. I hope her role isn't like a thankless hot blonde in a lab coat. It might be.
Right.
Chiwetel Ejiofor's here. Like,
I know.
never
The
a
cast
bad
is
move.
incredible. Reese
Never a
Ifans
bad
is here.
move. Yeah, it's like so, and Stephen Graham, who is always wonderful. So, like, I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm excited that they're calling it sort of like a sense of an ending to it and stuff like that. Like, and you know, Tom Hardy just still giving it his all. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm
Everything he
excited
has.
about this. You liked Carnage way more than I did, and it's possible that I won't love this as much as I'm hoping I will love it, but it kind of looks like something I hope I will love. So that's where I am.
I genuinely enjoyed the first 2 Venom movies. Genuinely.
I loved
One
first
of my
Yeah.
fond memories is that Venom Let There Be Carnage came out the weekend before you began working at The Ringer. And
Correct.
so while we had potted together before and been in touch and we're obviously like preparing for you to start officially, I would say like technically like the first work planning conversation we had was, hey, do you think we could squeeze in a Venom pod between your official orientation and onboarding? Turned out the answer was no.
It was a no.
But I like to think of that as like the moment that our shared Ringer journey really began.
Sure.
If anybody out there is like, hey, what's the movie going to be about? I'm just going to read the official summation here. Eddie and Venom are on the run, hunted by both of their worlds. And with the net closing in, the duo are forced into a devastating decision that will bring the curtains down on Venom and Eddie's last dance. It makes me so happy to think about all the people for years and years to come who are going to be Googling The Last Dance, looking for the outstanding Michael Jordan documentary and come across Venom The Last Dance instead. Just an incredible time to be people watching content in 2024. I can't wait for this
Oh my
movie.
God. Amazing.
Okay, so you had that at 5.
Mhm.
So that means I had it at 7, you had it at 5, so we're on my number 5. This is my wild card pick. I decided to use a wild card. Okay.
Sandman season 2 coming soon.
Oh boy. Okay, in the HBO mashup trailer, what's coming in the rest of 2024 and then what's coming in 2025. This was in the pre-2025 part. It was 100% in the 2024 part, and it had a new series coming soon tag. Could that end up meaning December and putting it outside of our eligibility window? Yes, but I think because it's confirmed for 2024, I'm allowed to use it as my wild card. It is the franchise.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited about this.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I know some people have seen it and they really liked it. So yeah,
This looks fantastic.
Yeah.
A Sam Mendes, Armando Iannucci joint job, a 30-minute HBO prestige comedy, a satire of our IP superhero obsession, would always be welcome. But like, especially in this moment of our Iannucci Veep renaissance, everybody revisiting Veep.
Yeah.
And in this particular moment of like resetting or reinventing for so many actual superhero properties, it's just gonna be a welcome area to spend time. The cast is amazing. A lot of our faves, Joe, are in this cast. A lot of our faves. Mesh Patel is here.
Yes.
Aya Cash is here. Billy Magnuson is here. Richard E. Grant is here. Daniel Bruhl is here. On and on and on the list goes. So
Daniel Bruhl.
I think this is going to be fantastic.
It's
It's
so
just
good.
hard to imagine that this wouldn't be great.
I love Iannucci. Never misses. Never misses. Iannucci. You saying Himesh Patel is like, should I rewatch Station 11? Yes.
I just assume you always are.
This is going to be what I watch on my flight today, maybe.
Fantastic.
Cheery flight watching. I'll just be sobbing on the plane. Okay. My number 4, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is Joker Folly Adieu.
Okay. So I had that at 8.
Yeah.
Not surprised you have it in the top 5. Tell us why it's a
Listen,
top 5 for
part
you.
of this is a bit because like I hear all the ways in which people are like, there's no way this is good. And I didn't love the first Joker film. And I am not like a huge Todd Phillips fan in general necessarily. So why am I all in on this? I love Harley Quinn as a character. I love Harley Quinn. I really like Lady Gaga in general. And I love a musical. And so when I found out that Lady Gaga was playing Harley Quinn, I was like, that's interesting to me. When I found out it was a musical, I was like, okay, that's interesting to me. When I saw the trailer, I was like, nothing about this trailer is dissuading me from my interest in this film. Of this sort of like,
have been really good.
Yeah, this sort of like surreal. I don't know. I'm just really excited. The trailers have been like expertly cut, and I'm just very hopeful that this is very good. Brendan Gleeson is joining Joaquin Phoenix in his Oscar-winning role as the Joker.
Do we talk enough about Joaquin Phoenix winning Best Actor?
No, for the Joker.
For playing Arthur Fleck? Do we talk enough about this?
We don't. Lady Gaga is here. The Stairs are back. Catherine Keener's here. Like, I don't know. I've just decided long ago to be excited about this movie. And
Harry Lottie, who plays my favorite character on television, Rob from Industry, actually second favorite. Jackson Lamb is probably my favorite character on TV.
What about something handsome Gilded Age?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I am a fan of the work that Morgan Spector is doing on the Gilded Age.
There you go. But yes, Harry Lottie, you have been texting the industry texts have been
he's tremendous.
Coming fast and furious. Okay. So yeah, Joker followed you. That's where I am. I've just decided to be hopeful. And if it's terrible, we will all experience that together.
Yeah. Again, hype meter, We live in the moment while we can.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I think both of these trailers that have come out have been really good. This feels like one where it's either going to be a complete whiff or we're going to be like, they actually pulled it off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
because they're all
fun.
really going for it. So it's either going to be like, oh my God, or like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And
I can't wait to see like how, I think that the way you're identifying that there's this kind of like surreal quality to it, how that particular tone and aura sustains across the entire film, across the like reported 15 musical numbers. I want to see the vision brought to life. I'm looking forward to it. So this is pretty soon. I mean, October 4th, and it premieres a month before that, right? It premieres September 4th in Venice. What is the reaction? It's going to be in Venice.
Some idea. October 4th, as you know, is the day after my birthday. So I'm considering this a birthday gift to me.
There you go.
From my best friend, Todd Phillips. Thanks, Todd.
Fantastic stuff. I love it. Okay, well, let's stay in the DC universe for a moment here because 4 is where I have the Penguin.
Let's do it.
I'm excited for the Penguin.
I mean, yeah.
It looks good. It looks good. I love Colin Farrell. I loved the Batman. I
loved the Batman, yeah.
I mean, it feels like so long ago already. It's really fun now to be back in, obviously in general, thinking about this new era of DC with the James Gunn DCU and then anything that falls into the DC Elseworlds umbrella and is outside of the new continuity that they'll be establishing. And like, the Batman is like its own universe now inside of this larger split universe. Yeah. And to go back to that world and to that tone, to get like, we'll circle back to the cast in a second, but just the grimy street level crime story, DC fare in the HBO prestige world, I'm genuinely really excited about that and think that this could be quite good. I've liked the trailers so far. It's 8 episodes, which also feels like a good length for this limited series. Not too short. They've got room to play, but it's not going to stretch on in perpetuity. I really liked our time with Cobb in the Batman, and I'd say that it's very, very promising stuff from Sophia Falcone, aka the Hangman, in the trailers so far. I thought you were at Arkham still. No. I've been rehabilitated. Well, that always goes fine in a DC story. So
fine.
I'm looking forward to this. I am. A lot of things are starting at once. We'll be covering Rings of Power still, and then Agatha and Penguin are the same week. So it's a busy time in our world. We haven't figured out yet exactly like how we'll be navigating all of that, but I'm looking forward to watching Penguin and potentially chatting about it together. Certainly a little bit at least.
No, definitely. I mean, we definitely want to cover the show. Absolutely. Yes. I'm not.
I've seen this. You had this at
7.
Okay.
So I've seen the first episode.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch ahead because I like if we're covering it week to week, I don't want to watch ahead. But it was the kind of premiere where I'm like, I really want to watch a couple more to get like, I don't feel like I have a full flavor of what this is going to be. It was a lot of setup, I think. Christine Miliotti's character doesn't play like really a part in the first, so it's just sort of like she's second build. I don't really have a flavor for her, like a taste for her yet. Which I think is going to be key to the whole thing. But there's so many reasons to be excited about it. Like visually it looks we're back in that same visual palette, which I love from the Batman. Craig Zobel, who is like, running things, directing the first couple episodes is knocked it out of the park with Mayor of Easttown. So like the idea of taking a Mayor of Easttown sensibility to Gotham, it's very excited. Helen Shaver also is coming in to direct, and she directed some of my favorite episodes of Station 11, speaking of. So like incredible talent working on this. An incredible cast. Clancy Brown is here.
Always a treat.
As Maroni, another crime boss that of notes. Theo Rossi, one of my favorite Sons of Anarchy cast members, is here. Mark Strong is here in an undisclosed role. We've got a couple people from The Expanse are here, so like there's just like a lot of talent in the mix here in a world that I loved, the Batman I loved. So there's like a lot of potential here.
And this picks up like just days after the events in the Batman. So we're not just in that world, but we're in that time period. This is like Penguin's rise, right, in the underworld and pursuing his new power as a crime lord. That's kind of the moment we're set in post Carmine Falcone's demise,
untimely demise. So I think, well, what I will say, no matter what, if you're like super excited for this or you're whatever, I would say let's wait until episode 2. Like episode 1 just feels like such a like slip into a like gently warm bath, and then like we'll sort of turn up the temp on it as we go.
Sounds fantastic.
So it's true.
I love doing exactly that.
So I'm curious to see where we go from there, I guess is how I feel. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, Joanna, does this take us already to your number 3?
Yeah, we're zipping along here. As you mentioned, you were like, you're joining me on the bit. I mean, we're here to talk about Gladiator II, which is coming out November 22nd. And we gave you some shit about this on the hype draft, admittedly.
Yeah.
Some modicum, a smattering. You can handle it. Listen, as the number 1 shit giver, you can take some shit from us, Mallory.
Well, I've tried to be nice in recent drafts, and it hasn't worked out, so...
The Cal brothers, Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal are here. We're so blessed with this cast. Denzel Washington, Joe Quinn, Fred Heischinger from White Lotus, Derek Jacobi, Rory McCant the Hound is here.
I know.
The Gladiator is a stone cold classic film, and there are so many reasons why I was like, I don't know that I want this. Namely, Ridley Scott's very patchy, track record with his own revisiting his own franchises. Mm-hmm. Or in this case, making a franchise, which The Gladiator wasn't to begin with.
Yes. But then we headed to Thighs O'Clock in the trailer, and you were sold.
the cast is just
Cast is unbelievable.
absolutely unbelievable. What we have seen has looked incredible. I don't think Denzel Washington is like physically capable of ever giving a bad performance in anything. And so if, you know, and we love Pedro and we love Paul and like all that sort of stuff like that. But Denzel is just sort of like this like sturdy ionic column in the center of, or maybe he's a Doric column. I don't know. But like he is a column of some sort at the center of this whole, he's going to hold this all together. And I think this is just going to be, great. And we are definitely covering it. It's sword and sandal. That is genre. That counts. We're covering it. Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay,
You're
you know
welcome.
what? I was about to say where was this during the hype draft, but fuck that. Like the drafts are about competitive spirit, and
Yes.
so I respect you trying
Thank
to
you.
tear me down and
You're
thwart
welcome.
me. That's
You're
the
welcome.
point. But in the spirit of friendship and shared experience, we are now moving forward united as one, and that is beautiful.
It is
I did
beautiful.
have a moment when I was like locking my list where I'm like, man, there are a couple of things that I'm really bummed to leave off of the top 10. We have our honorable mentions, but even so, it's like, oh man, I'm not gonna, this isn't gonna be in my top 10. Like, should I not keep leaning into the bid? Am I really gonna keep something out of my top 10 so that I can include something in Gladiator 2 that
The
wasn't
bid is
just
even a
the
bit.
fellow
It's just a
drafters.
fact.
The voting public rejected the strategy. However, I think the public is also very excited for Gladiator 2. How could they not be? The first trailer, every now and then you see a trailer and you're like, it renews your appreciation for how the trailer is an art form in and of
Yes.
itself, a supreme art form. This
Totally.
trailer was so fucking weird, but in the best possible way.
Yeah.
It's a really just incredible amount of water.
Sublime.
mixed- Sublime. I, you know, the gods have spoken. That's in the trailer, and that's how we feel about it as well. We will be covering Gladiator 2. Steve, Arjuna, update the calendar. We will be covering
The gods
Gladiator
have
2.
spoken sounds
on
like
House of R.
prophecy to me, and prophecy is House of R. So here we are.
Yes, it is.
Chosen
Yes, it is.
ones, a hero of higher birth hiding in obscurity. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
come on.
Myth making,
Yeah.
legend,
Yeah.
lore.
Yeah.
It does make me feel just like astonishingly old to confront the fact that Gladiator came out nearly 25 years ago. It just doesn't seem like that should be
No,
possible.
thank you. But
It just doesn't seem like that should be true or possible. And yet, here we are. Paul Mescal is a global treasure. So
Yep.
excited to watch him perform. Can't wait for the film. Can't wait to share it with you. Okay, that was your number 3.
I'm
My number
most
6.
I just want to get on the record to say
Yeah.
I am most excited for our pasty blonde
our co-emperors.
emperors.
Yeah.
We love some brothers who look fairly inbred.
Man.
Joe Quinn,
Co-emperors,
again,
good
just
stuff.
like really making the most out of his
Yeah.
time here. So,
And
yeah.
you know, we get like half of the Fantastic Four in this movie
Yeah.
with Pedro and Joe Quinn.
Yeah.
Delightful time. Delightful time. Okay, that was your 3, my 6. So that takes us to my 3, which I suspect is your 2. And it is Agatha all along.
That is my 2.
Okay. So we'll talk about it in a moment. Or now.
Now,
Because we're on your number 2.
Which
This is where
stuff
it gets
go, I
confusing.
think. I think that's
Which
where we are.
stuff go. And musical stuff go. You have it all, Joe. All of it. Musicals, witches.
This feels like it was made for me, genuinely.
I'm happy for you. I'm excited for us, and I'm happy for you. Truly.
I posted this on Instagram. I have this like moonstone pendant. I'm not a witch, but I have this moonstone pendant that I wear every single day, and it exploded the other day. And
you did post this on Instagram. Yeah.
it was like genuinely devastating to me that this happened. Sorry to talk about this on a podcast, but I have a point. The point is I was talking to my therapist about it. Wow, she's from California. I was talking to my therapist about it. She told me to throw it in the ocean as part of like letting things go. And then my friend was like, is your therapist a witch? And I was like, maybe I wouldn't be upset about it. So witch stuff go is just going. It's
My
just
goodness.
ongoing.
It's all connected.
It's just ongoing. Agatha, House of Darkness, Coven of Chaos, Darkhold Diaries, Agatha All Along, whatever you want to call it.
Which was your favorite title of the bit titles before we got to the real title? Or is the winner the winner?
I think the bit is really funny.
Yeah.
This
I
idea.
enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I think it was really funny. At first, I was like, "What's going on?" They got me completely. I was like, "What's going on here?" And I almost think like maybe the first title change wasn't the bit, but then they were like, "Let's make this a bit now."
Yeah.
I think House of Harkness, the original title, always like I don't know, evoked like a fashion house to me in a way. I don't know. It just sort of I liked it. But did you have a favorite?
I liked them. I liked House of Harkness. I like Oven of Chaos, Darkhold Diaries. I like them all. I enjoy Agatha all along as connective tissue to the iconic musical number from WandaVision and as like a summation and culmination of the title bit. It was Agatha all along. Great stuff. Wonderful stuff.
Don't know how musical this thing is going to be. We know that there is one musical number. They performed it at D23.
The Ballad of Witches Road.
So good. Just the phrase Witches Road, walk the Witches Road. Wonderful. And you have like a musical legend like Patti LuPone in the cast, just so exciting. Aubrey Plaza looks to be giving like a fourth wall breaking, like really fun, like antic performance that we love. And Joe Locke, who I love from Heartstopper, is here. I'm really excited for people who haven't seen Heartstopper to sort of like see. I hope he like brings the same just like joy and like vulnerability that he brings from that show into the show.
His role of teen,
just a teen, just a dude being a guy, being a teenager, and definitely not Wanda's son, Billy. Absolutely not Billy, aka Wiccan. That is definitely not who we're doing here. So like we have these witches, this coven of witches. Agatha does not have her powers. These various witches, either I think maybe they all don't have their powers or they all want something, very like Wizard of Oz in that way. And they all want to like go see the wizard, go walk the road. The end of the road, you get your heart's desire. And so I'm imagining, I do not know much about what this show is going to be. I'm imagining for teen Billy, it might have to do with his something about his mom. And like, if that means we get more Wanda stuff of some kind, again, I'm completely extrapolating. We might be Ralph Bonered again. Absolutely. I'm ready for that. But like,
our guy Ralph,
I'm excited. I feel unsatisfied.
And we're in the Wanda universe. Like we're in the Jack Schaefer verse.
Exactly.
Here.
I'm unsatisfied with how Wanda's story ended in Multiverse of Madness. I was very like, forthright with that at the time. Jack Schaefer, who launched WandaVision, is here. So like, I'm hoping not even necessarily that we'll get more Elizabeth Olsen. I'm not saying like Mephisto's gonna be here. Elizabeth Olsen's gonna be here because Elizabeth Olsen seems like rather done with the MCU. But I'm hoping some sort of different ending for Wanda of a sorts would be exciting for me. And I just think it looks cool. It feels very like, I mean, it'll still be running into October. But it's just like a very nice, it's just like a very nice Halloween-y feeling kind of show.
I like the Halloween season framing, even though it starts September 18th.
Yeah.
As candy enthusiasts, I have no qualms about extending Halloween season into
people are already shocked. I mean, like, I know the aisles of Target already have their like ceramic pumpkins out. Like I am convinced that, the Halloween season just extends further and further into summer as we go along because you got to make way for Christmas season, which is also always encroaching. But yeah, like, if this is the pumpkin spice lattes of shows, and pumpkin spice lattes are delicious.
They are delicious.
I've just decided to be really excited about the show. And I am,
me too.
If it is not good, we'll talk about it. But this is the hope meter. This is the hype meter.
Would not be the first time we were looking forward to a Marvel show, and then it was not good. But you know what?
They've had a lot of time. They've had so much time so much time in space this year. Deadpool, Wolverine, the Echo binge drop isn't really even a part of it because that was already like done and they just dropped it. So they had all year to perfect and fix this and make this good. And so I'm just like really hopeful that it's what we want. Jack Schaefer is just a great storyteller.
Jack Schaefer, who complains about getting to spend time with Catherine Hahn?
Nobody. Oh, I think I forgot to say the words Catherine Hahn. Catherine
Hahn reprising her instantly iconic role as Agatha Harkness. Both the trailers have been good. The original, like the teaser trailer, opening with a like fairly protracted Mayor of
Mayor of
Easttown
Easttown, yeah.
spoof
Yeah.
was, I almost didn't need to see anything beyond that. I was in. I mean, I was already excited, but when we got the Wooder utterance,
Yeah.
I knew we were once again in good hands. So you pair that with the cast, the very particularly calibrated all in on this energy conveyance in the trailers that we've seen so far, the musical number, Darkest Hour, Wake Thy Power? Sure. I'd love to. Thanks
Yeah.
for asking. Thanks
Yeah.
for the offer.
Come on.
We love a test. We love a trial. A trial
walk
without powers?
The Witch's Road with us. Let's
Please.
do it.
Is the thing you think you want that's waiting at the end really the thing you want, Joe?
Yeah. Or was it the friends you made along the way?
Exactly.
Or
Who
was
doesn't
it the
love to
friends you-
assemble a coven?
Or was it the friends you betrayed along the way? Tune in to find out.
Oh man. Okay, so that's your 2. Obviously,
Also-
there was no question that we were gonna have the same number 1. So that's your 2, my 3.
Yeah. Also, just last thing on Agatha, they have been like in reading like all the interviews or all the lead up or whatever, they have been implying like I don't think this is going to be like hocus pocus. Like I think people are going to die on the Witch's Road is the implication.
Oh, yeah.
So
I would
I
expect
think
so.
it's going to have like a fun tinge of darkness to it as well. Okay.
Great stuff. I always love when we hit the point in the pod where we call murder fun. A murder.
A murder.
Okay, so my number 2
Yeah.
is Dune Prophecy. Where did you have this? You had this at
6.
6. Okay. This is coming in November. Exact date, annoyingly still TBD. I'm gonna guess November 17th if we basically just count when the weeks until Penguin ends.
Mhm.
So let's say probably mid-November. This is, of course, the prequel to Dune. It's going to be set 10,000 years before the primary text, centered on the Bene Gesserit. The word, it used to be called a Dune sisterhood, but the word prophecy is just right there in the title, Joe. And we love prophecy, as you
We do.
previously mentioned on this very podcast today, here on this episode. Lots of creative overhauls with the series to date. As we like to talk about, sometimes that can be a harbinger, sometimes it can be alarming, and sometimes it means that hopefully in that time they got it right and we're going to get a banger. So Dune Part 2 is still, to me, the movie of the year. Let's keep the
Absolutely.
Let's keep the Dune hype going. Dune as a property, no stranger to the small screen, right? Frank Herbert's Dune, Frank Herbert's Children of Dune over on the Sci-Fi Channel. Dune is, of course, also no stranger to franchise expansion in terms of the number of texts originally from Frank Herbert, and then all of the subsequent additional novels and tales from Brian Herbert and Kevin Anderson. This is a different kind of expansion, though, in the Duneverse. And I'm excited to see how that goes and how that feels, and to play in a point in the world that feels like new and distinct, but also seamlessly connected to like building that bridge toward the thing we're also familiar with and love so much. Like it's the road to Lisan al-Gaib. So I really hope this is good. I think if this is good, it's going to be a great thing for us to be able to cover and talk about every week. And there's just so much enthusiasm. I mean, Dune, Frank Herbert's Dune is like one of our favorite shared stories, period. So the idea of just having more Dune stories is very exciting, full stop. But given the like enthusiasm in the larger world around the Dune franchise right now, it just feels like this could be a moment. It feels like this could be a thing. And maybe not, but if it is, that's awesome. Like when you get that zeitgeist going, and you have a show that people are actually excited to watch at the same time and talk about together, that's the best. So I'm excited not only for Dune Prophecy as a story and as an installment in the Dune universe, but I'm excited for, and this was part of what's generating the hype, so like to the top 2 for me. I really am like excited to see if this becomes a thing that people are just collectively very hyped about. That's my hope. We'll see.
Hope meter.
What are your Dune Prophecy thoughts?
I've heard, though I've not been asked personally, that HBO is sort of like anxiously sort of like screening this for people in a way that makes me feel like they don't have a ton of confidence in it, or at least worried about it. And that makes me a little worried about it. If I'm being honest, this is the hope meter. So like, I don't want to yuck your yum. And I think you're right to hope. And I agree with you that like, if it's like, how thrilled will we be if everyone gets on board with this show? Because then we just get to talk about, Herbert's ideas, for weeks at a time and all of that. So that's really
Maybe finally do the Hall of Fame. We'll see. No promises.
No promises.
Could be next Oscars. Could be the 1-year anniversary. Could be the 5-year anniversary.
Mark Strong doing double HBO Max duty on both Penguin and Dune Prophecy, but also just Emily Watson, Olivia Williams, Jodie May, Maggie the Frog, amongst other things, Last Mohicans, etc. Absolute legend. I'm a little worried about so Alison Schapker, who is the showrunner, who is a very lovely person, was also in charge, basically like kind of took over a bit for Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan on season 4 of Westworld. And season 4 of Westworld was like kind of a tough hang. So I'm just like I'm just a little anxious. But I want this to be amazing. I want this as much as you do. I want this to be great. You're right that this is not a predictor episode. So but I'm just nervous, but I'm hopeful and nervous, I guess is where I am. I want this to absolutely crush,
Same.
Yeah. And for us to have like a million.
For us to get to talk about
shows.
Dune every week for like 2 months.
Yeah.
What a gift. What a gift.
It would be a gift. Would be a power.
A Bauer? Does that bring us to our unsurprisingly shared number 1?
Yeah. We're mere days away. As we
It's
record this,
Yeah.
it's only 13 days. As you hear it, it's only 9 days. Until The Rings of Power, season 2. Oh, Mallory! If you're not watching this, Mallory has a second breakfast, 11Z's, lunch and afternoon tea, dinner and supper shirt. Wonderful.
I'm not sure I should have
I didn't
blown
see it.
this
I
today
didn't see it.
because that I think is something I have to figure out with the home camera
I think,
angle and
the
my
font
abhorrent posture. But I only have so many Lord of the Rings shirts. Should I have saved it for the season? Well, here we
no, I
are.
think
It's all
if
about
Adam,
my
if you're
live in the
listening, I
moment.
think your assignment is
He
clear.
did get me this, so
Yeah. Time
Yeah.
to order Mal more Lord of the Rings shirts. I'm excited.
August
I don't know.
29th, Joanna,
I
season
feel
2.
like I could be completely wrong. I know we're in a silo season 2, a silo of like, Tolkien fans or whatever. But I feel like people outside of the initial sort of like really disproportionate backlash that there was in season 1, what has emerged is like a lot of people who actually really enjoyed season 1, and also a lot of people who watched it subsequently, who didn't watch it initially because they heard all this bad stuff about it, and then watched it subsequently and are excited for season 2.
Yeah.
It was a huge, like, just objectively by the numbers, a huge hit for Amazon.
Yeah.
Like, there was this narrative that it was like a failure of some kind, and that's just simply not the case. It maybe wasn't as big as maybe they were hoping it to be, or it didn't like sweep the Emmys the way they hoped it would, or whatever. Like, I'm sure that there are metrics by which it didn't like hit the absolute top of the marks that Amazon was hoping, but it was actually very popular show. Our pods were really popular about it. That's how we kind of know, is like a lot of people were listening to us talk about it, and really, really engaging in it. And so I've said this before, I don't need to belabor, but like, when we covered season 1 alongside House of the Dragon season 1, which was still fairly new-ish into our podcasting partnership, I just felt locked in with you on those 2 worlds, covering those, and just sort of like the routine of those weeks where it was like Talk the Throne, House of the Dragon deep dive, Rings of Power deep dive, back to Talk the Throne. Like, it was just sort of like, it just sort of went. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And like, I felt like a huge Tolkien fan, felt like I learned so much more about Tolkien lore because, of course, what these creators are doing, Patrick and JD, what they're doing, they're huge Tolkien fans. They have spent way more time than even we have, certainly studying this text and studying the themes. And so, like, because they are writing a story that hasn't been written before, set in this world, they are lifting language where they can, or certainly digging into various like themes. Like so we would talk about like Tolkien and trees, or Tolkien and the concept of the creator, or like all this sort of stuff like that. That like just really helped me enhance my own Tolkien knowledge, and I found that so fun and valuable, and I'm excited to do it again. Like really genuinely excited. So
same. I can't wait. Obviously we'll, because we are mere days away from doing a primer pod, we'll talk about more of the specifics of the story like in that pod. But in terms of like the vibes,
immaculate.
You stated it perfectly. I can't wait. I've loved the all three of the trailers. The Comic-Con one, the middle of the three trailers, like because they've all been different. We had the teaser, which we actually did a breakdown pod on. Then we got that really meaty Comic-Con trailer, and then the more recent trailer just this week when you're listening to this pod last week was more of the like battle action trailer. Yeah, but hearing I think it was the middle trailer. I can't remember, but when Durin's like, at this moment, the great tale of our age is being written. I loved the kind of like meta celebration of that. Like, why can't this be one of our great shared experiences over half a decade or however long it ends up running? I mean, it's been 2 years since season 1, so maybe more like a decade. But it has been joyous to be back in Middle Earth in this stunning, in a number of respects, visually astonishing, visually stunning, thematically so rich, and like as we talked about a lot in season 1, just the language and flow of the show was beautiful. And I think to your point about separate that maybe like initial bad faith noise, not everybody who watched the show liked it, and that's never the case with any show, right?
Absolutely.
But for the people who did ultimately enjoy spending time in this slice of Middle Earth, like one of the things that we talked about a lot was how you, as a fan, like for both of us as fans of the world, lovers of the world, lovers of Tolkien's work, lovers, you just felt like you were in good hands because it was so clearly made by people who love it too. And that's a great feeling. That's a great feeling when you care about something and you want it to be good. And so to have that trust is very exciting. And then you get into like, okay, what did we love about season 1 that we're excited to return to? Like, I cannot wait to be back with, I'm sure this is tops of your list as well, my husband, Daddy Elendil. Just can't wait.
Nope.
But like,
not on my list. But I wrote
Sauron who fucks.
I wrote Elrond, I missed him, ! Durin and Disa, !!
I wrote
What are the Harfoots doing?
My darling Elrond.
What are the Harfoots doing? More music! ! I mean, I don't want to rewrite history. There's certainly like plot lines or episodes that we liked better than others in season 1. It was, I'm not saying it's like a perfect season of television. I just think the experience
it was special.
Talking about it was very special. And I'm hopeful that we get to feel that.
Same. Do you know how many like House of R in jokes and bits, how much House of R canon traces back to the Rings of Power run? I was thinking about that as I dove into my rewatch. That was a really, really fun thing. And then we get like, obviously we're moving forward in the timeline and the plot. We're getting the new performers who we love are joining the cast. It definitely looked from the most recent trailer like Kieran Hines, our guy, is playing Saruman.
He's playing a dark wizard, certainly.
A dark wizard. They have not confirmed, but I just saw those eyebrows and I was like, okay.
I think, I don't know why. I don't know why either. This is not Gandalf and Sauron.
Right.
For legal reasons. Mm-hmm. Or I don't know why otherwise they would like hold that back from us. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't quite know what's going on with the wizard stuff. Yeah. Wizard stuff go. But they're also the 2 blue wizards that were in the East. And it's possible that they're like, we've decided that our 2 blue wizards are going to be Gandalf-esque and Saruman-esque. Like, that makes a lot of sense to me. But anyway, Kieran Hines is certainly playing a shady seeming wizard. And that's exciting.
A dark wizard with robust eyebrows. I will also just say, again, we'll talk about more of the particulars next week, but let us not exit the hype meter without remarking upon the work that one of the patron saints of this podcast, Celebrimbor, is doing in these trailers, experiencing a harrowing mental break. This is like,
I will just like forever want to live in that shot of him like just dumping rings into the fire, just looking like he has lost every inch of his mind.
Amazing. And of course, I just when we got to hear like you will give me the 9 from Hot Sauron Who Fucks, I got a chill, like a full body chill. This is just gonna be great. I can't wait.
Elrond, what is he doing?
Exciting
I'm
stuff.
excited. Okay, Tom Bombadil. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be Dave.
Barrel
What a time to be
whites.
Dave Gonzalez. I know.
They're doing barrel whites? Like, come on.
Ents.
Yeah.
Get some Ent action in the trailers. Delightful stuff.
Guys.
Wonderful. Thrilled. Can't wait. Love you. Love Middle Earth. Delighted.
Runners up?
Yeah. Honorable mentions. Okay. So Arcane. I was sad to leave our Arcane season 2 off my list, mostly because I don't want Jomi to yell at me, but also because I really enjoyed season 1. That's coming this November on Netflix. And on the animation front, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is also coming in November on Disney Plus. I'm really looking forward to that. That was a tough one to keep off my list.
This is like a real keep hope alive situation. The Crow movie.
Yes.
I have no
You're
reason
excited
to
about
expect
this.
the Crow movie will be good. And they have been trying to remake this movie for a gajillion years. But what if it is? What if it's great? It's a question worth asking, I think. And The Crow is definitely Ringerverse material. And then Beetlejuice, which I think is also Ringerverse material. And again, like, I don't know, I'm pretty skeptical of its existence in the first place. But what if it's great? I don't know. It might be. We might have a great time with it. So, those are my sort of almost maybe made it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Those were the 2 that I was like, I wish I'd gotten these on the list were Arcane and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Just to rapid fire a few other things. When this is not a comprehensive list of everything else that's coming, but a few other things that people might be like, oh, you didn't mention this. The Walking Dead, let me say it the right way. The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol. I will just say,
oh, you didn't mention
that. And by someone, I mean Ben Lindbergh, who's listening to this. Like, why didn't you mention Daryl? So this was my the first Daryl season was my first Walking Dead experience in years. I returned to dip to toe back into the universe for that show, and I liked it. I liked that Daryl season. I don't know what that means for the future. I am not ready to recommit in full, but enjoyable season of television. On the Ben Lindbergh beat, just quickly mention that there are a number of exciting video games coming out this fall that you'll be able to hear Ben and co cover on Button Mash, including Star Wars Outlaws, Astrobot. The Ringer video game Slack has been a buzzing about Astrobot. Steve, are there other video games that you want to shout out for fall hype?
There's a new Warhammer 40K that looks pretty interesting. And there's another one, Black Myth Wukong.
Great stuff.
Thanks, Steve.
Legend of Zelda.
Oh, yes. Finally get to play as Zelda.
Delightful. What else?
Only
what else is
the
coming?
titular role.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Final season of What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah.
Love that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That maybe should have
I'm
been
sad
on my
that
list.
that's ending. I love that show.
It's great.
It's fantastic.
Remember when we played that vampire game and you're like, I know that vampire. I watch a vampire show.
Correct. It's like, he's an energy vampire. I knew that one.
Someday I'll get you to watch Interview with a Vampire. Someday.
I will. I plan to. It looks great and it's
Someday.
important to you. And so one day I will watch
Someday.
it.
You watched all of Doctor Who. I don't question your commitment to Sparkle Motion. So
I have a TARDIS.
Yeah. I know.
There it is. You could probably already see that in the actual video, but you couldn't see it in this very slender preview video. So had to turn the camera.
Yeah.
All right. Plenty of other stuff coming as well. And also, of course, we should always say stuff will take us by surprise. Things that we were not anticipating releasing at all, things we did not know would be good and hadn't known to look forward to, will captivate our hearts and minds. And we look forward to talking about them with you in real time. And, there's always more coming out than we can talk about, which is part of why Ringerverse Recommends exists now. So we're always looking for new ways to engage with you. This is honorable mention section. God, with the Ringerverse recommends really just being, this has ended up being about Limburg here at the end. Thrilled for him.
Benny boy.
Who's that guy? Ben. All right. Anything else from you, Joe? Guys, anything else that you're like, how could you not mention Thing X? Tomb Raider?
Star Trek Lower Decks season 5.
Lower Decks.
Thank you, Arjuna.
Thank you, Arjuna. Yep.
From the bottom of an echoey wind tunnel. Arjuna did not know that he had to be on mic today. Yeah, Lower Decks.
Harley Quinn, Creature Commandos, Terminator Zero,
Harley Quinn is
Transformers 1.
Good show.
It's great. Great one.
We
You
did
can look
it, I
forward to
think.
coverage on Mint Edition. We did it. Okay, fall is going to be loaded. There you go. There you go. That's the takeaway. Can't wait to do a hype meter for winter and talk about Craven. Genuinely can't wait. I look forward to seeing you in a few months. That's a wrap on the fall, not really fall, fine print, not really fall hype meter.
What if
Thank
this
you as
is-
always.
What if all this stuff is good?
That would be amazing. That would be great for us.
Yeah.
Thank you to our hype lords, Steve Ahlman and John Richter, for producing this episode. Arjuna Ramgopal for his additional production work on this episode and activating his mic at the very end there to chime in. And Jomi Adeniran for his work on the social for this episode. We will see you next week for, first, our Rings of Power Season 2 primer. Then, second, for our Rings of Power Season 2 premiere deep dive. That's going to be a meaty one.
And since it will already have happened,
Yeah.
when by the time people listen to this,
Yeah.
Mal and I are seeing the Lord of the Rings musical this weekend
We
in
are.
Chicago. We're very excited.
Can't wait.
So we'll be talking about that eventually on a pod. We have a plan to talk about that, but
Boy, do we. Boy, do we. I cannot
Yeah.
wait. Okay, until then, remember, every soul in Middle Earth is in peril. Will you abandon them to their doom? Don't do it. Don't abandon them. Catch up and then join us for the pods.